Hello golfers, this is Kevin Ralbovsky again here at Recoil Golf Course. Today I'm hole number 10 and the topic is driving a par 4 in one shot on the green. And this is a special kind of experience and some people feel like they can never do this, but I'm going to give you 10 keys today that are going to perhaps make this a possibility. So we'll keep an open mind. Number one, we're going to use the forward tee box. So some golf courses are designed with 1 or 2 holes that are in the 300-yard range. So that makes it a little more reasonable to reach the green in one shot. Some golf courses don't, but that doesn't mean you can't pick 1 or 2 holes, maybe one on the front, one on the back, and play the forward tee. Now, this is not that unusual. USGA championships are doing this all the time. We play a practice round from the tips, and yet when we play the actual event, surprise, surprise, they put one of the tee markers on the forward tee. And so this is sometimes like the USGA's little surprise to the field, and it's probably now not so much a secret as it used to be, but this would be an unexpected sort of change in the tee marker in let's say 10 to 15, 20 years ago. And this would give us a risk-reward shot, right? So maybe we have now a hole that we could get on the green or near the green, but it's going to throw us a little bit of a curveball because we don't really know the line or the trouble from this tee box. So but it gives us the yardage to at least make it a possibility. And so I would encourage everyone, it's a lot of fun. Sometimes just change it up with your group, or maybe you're playing as a single or even just a twosome, and pick a hole. Instead of playing the tips or the whites, play from the forward tee and give that a whack. That gives it a new challenge and gives you an opportunity to perhaps reach the green or close to the green in one shot with your drive. Number 2 is, before we even hit the ball, we want to make sure we have a stick like this, a PVC stick in our bag before we swing, especially if we want to hit a long drive. Probably be a good idea to give it a few swishes. So that's giving us some speed and some resistance, and probably an optimum amount because the weight is so good. And so this is a good way to bump up your club head speed without trying to kill the ball. So just this little resistance and trying to get the swish alone, this can be a good tool to reach a par 4 in 1 as soon as we've picked our tee box that's a little shorter, and this can now fire up the muscles a little bit more. Number 3. So as you can see, this hole is designed to go this way towards the 150 marker and then over a ravine and play as a par 4 in 2 shots. But the third key is we've got to take a more aggressive line, which sometimes means taking it over a corner. For this, we're going to need some experience, some local knowledge of the course. You probably have to play it a few times, but definitely you have to prick a line that's going to be a little bit more of a shortcut. And so take some of the angle off, that's taking some of the yardage off. So most holes have a slight dog leg. Once you've chosen a tee somewhere around the 300-yard range, then certainly cutting off the corner, cutting the shortcut can make the whole play shorter, giving you again another opportunity to reach in one shot. Number 4 is we need a favorable wind. So whatever hole you pick, let's say we're moving to the forward tee, make sure that at least there's no wind to even a downwind, a right to left wind, that would be fine if you're a right-handed player. Anything into the wind or crosswind from left to right, chances are you're not going to reach the green. Even the pros, even the longest drivers in the world, the long drive hitters, once it's into the wind, all bets are off. So they lose a lot of distance fighting that wind. So pick a hole that has a favorable wind condition or no wind, and then that will help your chances of reaching the green for sure. Number 6, we talked about this in my driver tutorial, but we definitely need a high tee. So high tees are 3 1/4 inches. Got one right here as well, right? And we got to tee that baby up, especially if we're going to take it over some trees. If that's the shortcut line, then I've got to have a high tee to get there. You won't pop the ball up. You won't hit the ball overly high as long as you have the good swing mechanics. We'll talk about this a little bit in a moment. So I'm going to put the tee back down. So the correlation with the high tee and your swing is the more I turn, the higher I need the tee. So if I go back here, let's say my normal backswing, here's my takeaway. I'm going to turn my driver 110, 120 degrees. It's going to be about that much, right? So my tee is going to be high. If I'm going to try to drive a green, I'm going to probably turn a little bit more, maybe 10% more. And so I call that turning to the edge. The edge where you can barely see the ball and the edge of your comfort zone. So if you're too comfortable, probably means you haven't turned enough. That ball has got to be barely in your vision. Then you know you've turned. And so that's going to create more windup, which is going to create more potential energy. In relationship to that is number 8, is I'm going to allow my left foot to come off the ground a little bit. This is what I would normally not do if I'm looking to hit very consistently, very accurately, be more machine. I'm going to keep my left foot planted. But now I'm going to gear up. I'm going to have like this one shot only for the whole course. I might as well give it a good rip at it. So in conjunction with my big turn and barely looking at the ball at the top, here's the takeaway. And then as I start to turn, my head goes to the edge, my eyes barely see the ball, and I just let my left foot raise up a little bit like that. And that'll get it back there even more, right? So, remember what I said, I'm not trying to intentionally raise the foot. What's happening is I'm turning so much that I'm just allowing the foot to come up. So there's a big difference. I don't want to just start off like that and just pick the foot up. Right? I'm turn. The last thing that might happen at the top of the backswing on a huge backswing is your left heel might come up 1 to 2 inches. And you'll see that's very common with the very long ball hitters. Right? They're very much up on their toes, not only at the top but at impact and even the follow through sometimes. Okay, number 9, very important. Anytime I want to get speed, I've got to make sure my arms are relaxed and my wrists are very active. So I'm going to make even a more sort of conscious intention to loosen up my arms, really waggle them out, really prime them for movement, and I'm going to really let my wrists go. And I'm not going to be so worried about balance. So when I want to get maximum distance, I'm going to have a pretty good recoil. So normally my swing might look like this, take away, turn, finish like this, but now I'm going to just let it rip and let it recoil. So that recoil, you'll see, is a very common component of golfers that are swinging at a very high club head speed. You're not seeing the longest hitters in the world, in a perfect balanced follow-through position. Oftentimes they're recoiling quite violently. Now, of course, I wouldn't do this every tee shot. We're talking about one shot a hole, or one shot per 18, and this is a hole that's potentially drivable. So again, you have to weigh the risk reward, and again, it's a fun experience. It's nice to give it a shot. The last thing, number 10, is when I tend to swing my hardest and try to reach par 4 in one shot, myself included, generally golfers tend to look up a little early. We tend to peak, right? And we come out of the shot. We come out of our posture and we lose the ball to the right. So for me, when I try to hit a very long ball, my miss is to the right. So one of the ways you combat that is I'd really focus on keeping my gaze down, right? So I try to swing past my chin, past my eyesight. I'm still moving my feet, I'm still shifting my weight, I'm still using my hips, so I'm not doing this, right? So I'm still moving the lower body, right? But I'm keeping my gaze down a little bit longer. That tends to help square the face up, I find, on very aggressive swings. So here we are. I'm right here is the marker, 321 yards, slightly downhill. Today the wind is not helping, but it's coming from right to left, that's generally a good wind. Most right-handed golfers like that. So I've got, again, modern driver, 45.5 inches. I've got a Titleist Pro V1. I'm not going to take it down the fairway line. I'm going to take it over the trees. I've got to hit it at the top of that, very, very top of that mountain. So it's a blind shot. I have no idea where it's going to be. It's kind of the fun of it. And then I'll take you down there and we'll see how I did. So I'm going to go through my routine. Ball up very high. I'm going to stand behind, double check my alignment. I have the stick down here. I'll just move that out of the way. Kind of visualize the shot a little bit. Take a deep breath. That helps with my relaxation. Yeah, I'm going to get in here. I'm really keeping those muscles loose. I'm going to give it a little bit extra at the top. Make sure that I can barely see the ball. My left foot's going to raise up, and I'm going to give it that recoil. Here we go. All right, that was pretty good. It's close to my line. I was going to be very curious to see where that ends up. So what I'll do is we'll take a little pause for a moment, and then I'll bring the camera down and we'll see how. Okay, so I'm driving now down towards the 10th green, just crossed the bridge over here at Recoil, and coming up the hill you can see the beautiful mountains. Just a gorgeous day again. I'm gonna drive up, see how we did. Take a look. Oh, what do you know? First try, one take on the green. Take a look, sure, that's my Titleist Pro V1. You can see the ground's a little firmer, so I got probably a little bit of scamper. And there she is. Oh, maybe even carried to here. So, you know what, with favorable conditions, you know, my drives don't normally go 320 yards. Far from it. 290 is more about average for a good drive. Yet, with the right adjustments, a couple of little things with the swing, making sure that I have a favorable wind, and I'm playing from a yardage that's, you know, on the forward tee, I can drive a par 4 and, you know, enjoy that experience. And of course, there's a lot of risk rewards. I mean, obviously, you can hit it in the bunkers, you can hit it in the bushes, so there's a lot of bad spots as well. You could hit it. So oftentimes, you know, people make a lot of bogeys on from the forward tee. But it's very nice, and this would be very typical at a USGA Major Championship. They may throw a hole at 320 just to give the players something to think about. So I hope that helped, and maybe gave you a few ideas. Next time you go play, try to play a hole or two from the forward tee and drive a green. For now, Kevin here. Bye-bye.